Third step is interpretation. Interpretation means, what did it mean to the original audience? What are the timeless truths or principles that are being communicated? Why did the author write this? What specific point is being made in this paragraph? What it is or are the main commands of the paragraph? And we might ask ourselves, why did the author write this paragraph in the particular place in the letter? Why is it first or why is it second? What comes before it and what comes after it? And how does it relate to the other thoughts that are being conveyed? The main thing that I would love for you to do and practice doing is summarizing. Summarizing is hard for some people, but it's basically taking the point of this paragraph. And so we ask ourselves, what's the main idea? What's the main thought of this? And I'd like you just to think of you explaining it to a third grader or a fourth grader. And really it comes down to the main ideas in the paragraph. The summary here is that God is blessed for the great salvation that he has given to us. We don't need to fill in all the details of God, of the author of that salvation, or of the salvation itself. We can just narrow it down to God is blessed for the great salvation he's given to us, or something like that. Also in the interpretation section is an opportunity for you to define any words that you don't understand. On your card, it gives you the way that you can use a free resource on the internet called the Blue Letter Bible. If I don't understand what a particular word means, or maybe I want to understand it more fully, I would go there and then I would type in 1 Peter 1, 3 through 5 in the search box. I would also choose NASB. We are using NASB. It's the more literal translation. So that's what we're doing. And then click Strong's. The text will come up and every word will have a Strong's number next to it. You can just click on the number on the Strong's box and it will open up and give you the definition. So for example, in my study, I went ahead and I defined imperishable. And I got this from Blue Letter, not corruptible, that which does not disintegrate, like the breaking down of our natural bodies. Undefiled, unsoiled, free from that which by the nature of thing is deformed or debased, or its force and vigor impaired, pure, free from adultery. Unfading, unfading like a perennial flower that is always in bloom, perpetual. And in that, what I did is I took some principles from this word and I summarized a little bit, saying my inheritance is not defective and will not break down. Its force and vigor is not impaired. It's pure and free from adultery. This inheritance does not lose its brilliance. It is like a perennial flower that is always in bloom. This is how I often will use definitions to enhance my understanding of that verse. Another thing I looked up was the word guarded. Our inheritance, it says that our inheritance is being guarded by God's power. And it means shielded, guarded, or protected. And that's pretty much what we understand guarding to mean. But it also implies that heirs, or heiresses, as we women are, need to be protected. And that God is protecting us. And we don't have to worry because everything that we have is being protected in who we are in the Lord. And so a principle, a timeless principle from that might be, God's salvation is great from this passage. I am an heiress and my inheritance is sure. God's power is guarding me through faith for a future salvation. Those are some examples of maybe timeless principles where it says in number 2, some timeless principles. You also saw some examples of defining words. One other thing that you could do is you might want to cross-reference some of these. On the Blue Letter Bible, it'll show you other places that that word is used. The inheritance reminded me of the verse in Matthew 6:19 through 21 that says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in or steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." And it reminded me that as Jesus preached this at the Sermon on the Mount, that Peter was there listening to this. And so when he's talking about our inheritance being imperishable and undefiled and unfading, it reminds me of Jesus's words. You do not have to, in the beginning, cross-reference. If you just want to try defining one or two words and doing the summary, that would be a great start for you who are new to inductive Bible study. That's interpretation.